Hello everybody and welcome back to another Ask Mevo Anything. I am Joe Capar. I am the lead technical specialist here at Mevo, and today we are going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. I'm going to answer all of your questions, so as always be sure to put those questions in the chat so I can address those live today. For today's production, for most Ask Mevo Anythings at least, we try to use one of the Mevo apps, whether it's the Mevo 2.0 app or Mevo Multicam app. For today's show, I'm going to be using the Mevo 2.0 app. All of the graphical overlays that you've seen thus far and any future graphical overlays that I use during the show today are all going to be handled in the Mevo 2.0 app. Now, these graphical overlays, if you were unaware, as of June or July, I'm not sure, I think it was June, graphical overlays are now free in the Mevo 2.0 app and Multicam. It's always been free in Multicam, but in Mevo 2.0 app, you can now use graphical overlays for absolutely free. So all of the things that you see me doing today, you can also accomplish yourself. For my audio today, I'm going to be using this cheap, I think it's like a $10 lavalier mic from Amazon. I'm going directly into the back of the Mevo Start, and my audio is being handled that way. We are going live all through Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. So if you're not following or subscribed to any of those channels, make sure you go check those out. I prefer Twitch only because you get some really cool emojis. And it's really good quality. If you have not checked out Twitch, it seems to be one of the few channels or platforms that do not heavily modify your video. So you won't see much change between what you have, configured in the app and then what you're actually seeing on said platform. I do want to go ahead and talk about our shows. If you were unaware, you can absolutely take care of and check out all of our shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays are Ask Mevo Anything, where you get one of the technical specialists, whether it's myself, Joseph, or Will, and you get to ask us any question that comes to mind that's related to Mevo, of course, and we will do our best to answer those live. If you do have any technical questions, be sure to go to help.mevo.com and you can get some more in-depth customer support there. On Thursdays, we do Mevo Live, which is the more advanced shows that we do. I'm looking at chat. We have some crazy emojis going on Twitch right now. But yeah, like I said, on Thursdays you get Mevo Live, and you get typically one, two, usually two or three of us. And we do more advanced shows where we use OBS, we use external audio sources, we're using like XLR microphones, we're using NDI, we're demonstrating really more complex functionalities. Whereas our Tuesday shows, we show you what you can do out of the box using a Mevo app and what you get in the Mevo products. And if you are already a user and you're thinking about going to the Multicam app, you can go ahead and pick up the Multicam package from Mevo.com and get your hands on the 3-pack. They are in stock now on Mevo.com. You can also get them at our partners. You can get them on Amazon, B&H, Adorama, Best Buy, and some more future partnerships coming out soon. So keep your eyes open for those. Now, I do want to mention that the 3-pack is going quickly. So if you do see one and you're thinking about getting one, I wouldn't hesitate too much longer because they could be sold out as they've already done multiple times since release. If you're already a Mevo customer and you do not need any more Mevo products, be sure to check out our referral program at mevo.com/referral. You can also go to mevo.com/refer, and you can get 5% commission while you're saving those you refer 5% as well. Now, what I continue to recommend, and I keep saying this over and over, that referral program is absolutely key, because what you get to do is you get to have a completely customized coupon code or discount code or referral code that you can associate and rename it how you see fit, whether it's your organization, your YouTube channel, Twitch channel, whatever it may be, your alias, your online handle, whatever it may be. And people tend to gravitate more towards those types of coupons or discount codes simply because it seems like you're more of a partner than just getting a randomly generated, Mevo 1743, some random numbers. People tend to trust those customized coupon codes, so you can get a little bit more return compared to those other types of platforms or programs that you may sign up for online. I do also want to talk about, wait, is that it? That's all? That's all my graphics? Oh, wonderful. Never mind. I'm going to go through some chat, so please be sure to put your chat questions in all the various platforms. I am monitoring those. Joseph's in there monitoring those. Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as I had mentioned. Also, you don't want to miss Thursday's show. If you're unaware, we did announce last week on Ask Mevo Anything that we have something big coming up on Thursday. Unfortunately, we had some wild weather up here in New York, so definitely come by and check us out on Mevo Live on Thursday and get all the latest news on what we are going to announce. Awesome, so I'm gonna start with this chat here. So it looks like Travis on YouTube says, if I'm in studio mode with my Mevo Start, is there a way to still record to SD card? So if you're in studio mode if you're talking about Live Stream Studio, I don't believe that's possible. However, you can use Live Stream Studio. It does have a functionality that allows ISO recording where you can, I think it offers up to like 4 sources where you can ISO record the source. So if you go to Live Stream Studio, go to their user documentation and look up ISO recordings, you should be able to do that. But you won't be able to record directly to your Mevo Start's SD card. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our talk doc here. So I was monitoring it myself, but I know he's monitoring them, and I'd rather get some, there we go, wonderful, some filtered questions. So picture this, Studio Waterloo, Trinidad Tobago says, greetings, hello, welcome back. I've seen you around a couple times, so welcome back. Tommy says, I haven't used Mevo doing my first live seminar since pre-COVID and late September. How good is the experience for online people if they're participating in a seminar that is taking part live? How can the experience be made better? That's a great question, Tommy. So as you can see, this isn't necessarily an online seminar, though you could technically look at it as a seminar, but typically the experience could be really good, but it really depends. You could really kind of ruin an experience if you don't have quality audio, or if you have buffering, or your cameras are set too far away. You can ruin a user's experience if you're not testing and making sure that you're doing things and delivering quality content. Not only is the content important, but the way you're delivering it. Whether you're improving audio using a lavalier or a boom microphone that captures more crisp audio, or if you're using graphics, you don't want it to be too distracting. You want to make sure that you're really helping them take in the content opposed to pushing them away because the experience isn't good. If you have tons of buffering, pixelization, or some random crazy stuff going on, you want to make sure that you can get those corrected before the seminar. That way you can deliver the better quality in the end. But it's a great question. Now, I would say for people doing online seminars, I enjoy it because for example, I've gone to many seminars, and what really is cool is that you can absolutely, viewers can pause if they want to, depending what platform you're using. It doesn't have to remain live. For example, this is on YouTube, which you can technically go back and watch it, and then you can always press live. I know like Netflix and Hulu offer the same type of thing, so I enjoy that YouTube does. So if I have to walk away for a moment, I can come back and jump to a section that I want to see, and then I can go back to live and get live content delivered to me. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can take in consideration. The platform, the way you're delivering audio, graphics, all of those things. Just make sure you're testing all of those things because I also know that if you're buffering a lot, I'm probably not going to stick around. So make sure you've got solid internet, solid connectivity. Just make sure you are prepared to deliver the content, and I'm sure the user would enjoy it significantly more. Eric Griffin and Sean Eubank says, can I add a 4th camera in the Multicam app? So you can technically have 4 cameras on the same network and disconnect a camera and add another camera, but you can only have 3 cameras simultaneously on your production in the Multicam app. Now, there are other things you can do, of course, is use your Mevo Starts in NDI mode and use software such as Streamlabs OBS, and you can bring in NDI sources that way and have as many Mevo cameras as you want running through OBS. But you have to remember, when you are using a mobile device, your mobile device on Multicam is your encoder. So the more you try to demand of it, the more cameras you add, the more things you add. I know users want more video cameras, they want more, they want live NDI inputs, they want NDI outputs, they want webcam output, they want video input, they want to be able to add MP4s, MP3s, you have to understand your phone's doing all of this. So if you think that a computer, a cheap laptop can't handle things, imagine what your phone's going through when you're trying to demand all of this stuff. So I get the desire to have more, but your phone's doing all of this processing. So you kind of have to take in consideration the hardware, the taxing that you're doing on that hardware while you're trying to create a multi-camera production using a single mobile app. Turkey Farmer says, I love my 3-pack. Are there plans for a 4K video and higher FPS in the future? Well, Turkey Farmer, thanks for tuning in and thanks for using emojis. I think they're hilarious. But as far as later new announcements and things we may not have yet discussed or announced, I highly recommend like, follow, subscribe on all of our channels: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, which you're on. You can also make sure you're following and subscribe to us on Twitter and on Instagram, and that's where you're going to see these announcements. Now, we do announcements on these live shows. We have one coming on Thursday, but these announcements could vary from anything. It could vary from a discount. It could vary from a sale. It could vary from new products, new softwares, betas, a lot of things. So keep in mind that every announcement that we talk about on these shows doesn't necessarily mean we're announcing another product. So, but we would typically talk about it on these shows, but you would absolutely know it beforehand. We wouldn't just kind of pop out of nowhere and say, yeah, absolutely, that's coming. Bert says, so what's the gadget on the back wall with the spinning discs? So, Bert, that's a great question. That is my computer, actually. The computer that I have in front of me, it is over there mounted on the wall. And basically what that's doing is I have all of the cables running through the wall, going through my basement and coming up the other side of the room, and that allows me to, 1, have a really cool display in the background, and 2, it allows me to free up some desk space. A lot of really cool desks you see, or computer configurations you see, have the computer on the desks, under the desks. They've got cables running everywhere. This way, all of my cables are in the wall. I'm not worrying about it. It's out of my way. All my monitors in front of me are on the wall. I don't have cables everywhere. So I definitely recommend it. It's definitely a project, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. I think it looks great. Kevin says, I've had a request to record a service to show at a later date. I'm not sure how to go about recording to SD card. Does the Mevo Start not record to SD while streaming? Is it either or type? So Kevin, you can absolutely, with the Mevo Start, record and stream simultaneously. And unlike the Mevo Plus or the Mevo First Gen before it, the recording is going to be full quality. So you can actually get a higher quality than your stream to SD card. So you could technically stream it, and you can record up to 50 megabits per second to your micro SD card. One of the things you want to know is you want to make sure that your micro SD card is actually able to write at the speeds of which you have selected in the app. Now, a typical stream, you're looking at 6 megabytes per second. Obviously this varies between Mevo 2.0 and Multicam. One's using HEVC, one's using H.264, and a lot of encoder differences. But what's really cool is when it comes to the recording, you can get up to 50 megabytes per second, and no matter what happens to your stream, if it's buffering or anything, it will continue to record. Now, if your stream disconnects, your recording is also going to disconnect. So make sure that you're not risking it if you think your network's bad. So if you just need to record, and that's the goal, to broadcast it afterwards, then just record. I wouldn't risk streaming it and recording simultaneously. Only because, unless you have good network, then go for it, absolutely. But if you're not sure, I wouldn't risk your recording for a stream that they don't even want. But definitely something to look at. Centurion says, I've emailed twice regarding the referral program. I haven't received a response as of yet. Centurions, make sure you're opening up a ticket, help.mevo.com. If you've already opened one, throw in the chat what your ticket number is, or you can send me, Joe Mevo, on our Facebook group, so you can message me, and I'll look up your ticket number to see where that is. But yeah, I mean, you should, I would imagine you would have heard something by now. Lyndon says, can we use Mevo Start and Mevo Plus with Multicam app with video overlays? So 2 parts. You can absolutely use Mevo Start and Mevo Plus. No, there are no video overlays in the Multicam app. But yes, you can mix and match Mevo within the Multicam app, however you see fit. Simple things. My first Mevo camera arrives today. I'm so excited to use it for a local competition that will be live streamed online due to coronavirus restrictions not allowing a real audience. Simple things, so glad to hear it. So glad that we could really bring that content to your audience, make it a little bit easier for you. Hopefully you enjoy your Mevo start. Hopefully your production goes well. If you have any questions, never hesitate. We do have really cool customer groups on Facebook if you're not a part of it. It's the Mevo customer group. We also have a multicam group, a webcam group, and of course, if you do need direct assistance, you can go to help.mevo.com and get rather quick assistance between 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're monitoring those tickets. So if you do need help, you do need guidance. Of course, every function and ability that the Mevo product and Mevo apps have, you can find all that information generally with media support. So if you go to help.mevo.com, most or absolutely every single feature is covered. Now, most of those articles that cover the features with step-by-step directions typically have, directly related video, directly related images and animations to show you specifically what you're supposed to be doing at each step. So if you're trying to learn, that's a great way to start. If you have questions, go to our customer groups or go to help.mevo.com and open up a ticket and we'd be happy to help. Brian says, we have a Mevo start for our church service live stream and have had a very hard time keeping it connected. It drops connections nearly every week. We have dropped the resolution to the lowest levels and it still drops out. What level of internet speeds do we need to have at a minimum? Our bandwidth is certainly not working. Any suggestions? So a few things. Brian, what app are you using? Are you using the Multicam app or are you using the Mevo 2.0 app? There's a few different things. We highly recommend if you're streaming, if you want 1080p, you have 10 megabytes per second at minimum. And then, as you go lower, we do have an article that specifically outlines each individual resolution and the recommended upload speeds for each one of them. Now, a few things to keep in mind. We do recommend that you run your Mevo camera on a dedicated network. You shouldn't be sharing it with other devices, other users. If you are, they could cause interference, interruptions, and cause a disconnect in your stream. Streaming does take quite a bit of resources. Most newer networks, I'm on a home network right now, most newer networks can handle it without a problem. However, some old networks or some rural networks could have a little bit more strain on them, and depending on what your network speeds are, your internal speeds, a lot of different things can come into factor and play when it comes to disconnecting. Now, if you're using the Multicam app, you have to keep in mind that your phone is the one that's actually broadcasting. So if you're using the Multicam app and you notice that the Wi-Fi is not well or good, great, it's not sufficient, there we go. If it's not sufficient, I would highly recommend hardwiring that via Ethernet. Hardwire your phone via Ethernet. Hardwire your cameras via Ethernet. If you're noticing that you're disconnecting and there's no warning, that would be my suggestion. Now, if you're getting low speed or low internet warnings, then do an upload test. Go to fast.com, go to speedtest.net, go to google.com, do a upload speed test, internet speed test, and find out what that upload speed is. Your upload speed is what's important, not necessarily download speed. Download speed doesn't really help you at all when it comes to streaming. So make sure you're concentrating on that upload speed, see what it is. If you continue to have issues, of course, go to help.mevo.com, open up a ticket, we'd be happy to help. Christian says, hey Joe, has there been a demand to get larger touch targets for advancing through presentation slides to make the size configurable? Also, how about an option to cease presenting in full screen when there is a loss of connectivity between the camera and the control device? That's a good question. Sorry, I was trying to think about how this would make sense for the second part, but I get it. I do understand, because the graphic would stay up, you would have no way to take it down. Makes sense. Much like our other feature, which goes wide on disconnect if you so choose. That was a weird noise. Anyways, that's a great suggestion. I will absolutely pass that on. That is the first time I've heard that one, but it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. As far as the larger touch targets for advancing through presentation slides, I can see that being beneficial. Let me see. I'm trying to think, what does that look like at the end of the day? Yeah, I see the use case. Absolutely makes sense that you would want a bigger touch target so you're not accidentally touching the screen. I'm just trying to think of how much bigger we could get without taking up too much real estate. Maybe making it resizable, maybe allowing users to select what size they want. It could also be an option. I'll be sure to pass that along as well. Thanks for tuning in and recommending it. Let's see what else we've got here today. Awesome. I'm looking at chat. It looks like Turkey Farmer. You need to have 10 megabytes per second upload speed and no one on the Wi-Fi besides the stream. Definitely recommended great points, Turkey. Christian, thank you. You're very welcome. All right, let's talk about some other cool things. So we talked a little bit about, you know, he mentions graphics for the Mevo 2.0 app. He mentions, or others have mentioned graphics for Multicam. I talked a little bit about the differences between the way they're encoded. So Mevo 2.0, your Mevo Start, or your Mevo Plus, your Mevo First Gen is doing the encoding. And Multicam, all of the footage is being sent directly to your mobile device to do the encoding. So if you notice any types of upload speed issues or disconnects, or, you know, you're not necessarily, what I often see is users will go out and try to buy a cheap tablet because it's the cheaper option, entry level. Now, that's not always the best thing. If your stream is important to you, I do not recommend going to a cheap tablet or trying to use like a Chromebook. One, they're not supported. If you do make it work, it could fail, and we're not gonna be able to really help because we don't support Chromebooks. Same thing goes for Fire tablets. I know a lot of people go out there and try to go buy the cheaper Fire tablets, then they install our applications using you know, third-party routing or whatever it may be. We don't support Fire tablets. So if you notice that you're having issues with Fire devices, and we won't really be able to help you with it because you're using a device that we do not support, and we actively say we do not support them. So definitely make sure that when you buy a device, you don't go to the oldest device possible for Multicam, because it's extremely important to have a quality device. You do not want to go towards an entry-level device simply due to price. Fernando says, 3 cameras, 1 app on a tablet, but can I control each camera on its own tablet phone and use the Multicam on a 4th tablet just to use the multi-switch and graphics? Unfortunately not, but I do know that has been recommended by others. I highly recommend, that is something we've definitely discussed, and I'm not gonna rule it out. I know that no decisions have been made and no timelines have been built based on that suggestion, but we've definitely heard it, having, you know, multiple devices. That way you could have like 3 people controlling each camera and then 1 person controlling the master output. Totally get it. Great idea. I don't know what that would look like, but I don't see why I don't think it's impossible. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to see, to be honest. I think that's awesome. Oh, awesome. We've got so much chat. We've got 28 people in here right now. If you are unaware, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Make sure if you're not liking something, go like it. If you don't get to catch all of our live shows, but you do enjoy watching the shows, make sure you're following and subscribing, because all of our live shows are saved as videos on demand on all of our platforms where you can access them after it's done. So if you want to go check us out or any past shows, go check them out. We leave them up. All of the questions, everything is there. We do demos. Our Mevo Live shows are demos. So if you do have questions or concerns, definitely check out those past videos. Kevin says it would be nice to have a preset touch button on the camera view so you don't have to jump away from the camera view to graphics to launch, or just a stepper button up or down for graphics. Yeah, I could totally see that being a good use case. It's kind of what Multicam's supposed to be. Is like you can create a graphic and then all of them are right there on the same screen. If you haven't checked out Multicam, Kevin, check it out. It's an awesome application, and you don't need multiple cameras to use it. You can do it with 1 camera, but exactly what you're trying to do is there. You have your preset, or you see all of the graphics on the side, you see all your cameras on the side, and then on the right side you have your preview on a tablet at least. On a phone it's a little different, but you still see all of your video shots and graphics on one screen. Opposed to what it's basically what you're trying to recommend for Mevo 2.0 app. I think if that's what you're trying to do, go check out Multicam, because it's already possible and it's already done that way. Centurion, is there a solution for increased zoom capability? I demoed a 3 cameras setup for a client. No, there is not. So the Mevo cameras have a digital zoom opposed to an optical zoom. Optical zooms can be used from further away. The Mevo camera is advertised and recommended to be 5 to 10 feet from your subjects. Now, and that's specifically if you're trying to zoom, what we recommend is that your camera is close enough that you have your widest shot. The one thing you don't want to do is have a shot where it's only a very small portion of your screen and you have to zoom in just for your widest shot. You're already deteriorating your quality of footage, so move your camera closer. For example, right now this is my widest shot. I can't go any wider, but if I wanted to zoom in a little bit, you know, get a good shot there, you know, tap on my face, whatever it may be, and it looks really good, right? I'm not very far away from the camera. I'm about 3 feet away, and it gets that wide angle. So if you're trying to shoot from very far away, I don't recommend it. The Mevo camera is not built for that. You have 3 cameras, use them wisely, put them in angles that are useful. That's all I can recommend. The Mevo does have a digital zoom, not optical. So you just have to know how to use them, put them closer. And they have an 84-degree field of view lens. So it's not like you need them far to capture much. Have them as far as you need for a wide shot. Capture only what's necessary, not anything more. The purpose of the 3-cam is to capture other things. If you want to capture the crowd, capture some random stuff, you can do that with one of your other cameras. But keep your wider shots only as far as it needs to be to capture the widest angle you absolutely need. Don't try to zoom in on something small from 30, 40 feet away. It's just not built for that. Kevin says, transition for graphics to fade in or out. You can absolutely do that in the Multicam app as well, Kevin. I highly recommend you go check that out. The transitions are already there, Multicam. Sounds like you want to use Multicam. And all of that's there. You can use it with Mevo 2.0 app, maybe in the future. However, right now you can do it already in the Multicam app. All the graphic layouts are exactly what you're trying to do, and those transitions are there in place. Go check it out. You don't need multiple cameras to use Multicam, but you want all that functionality, you may as well use it. But definitely see the desire for it, and that's why we put it in Multicam. Definitely feedback we've had in the past, so that's why we're introducing it in Multicam, and people can take advantage of it. You can use 1 camera, 2 cameras, 3 cameras. At one point, you could actually use 0 cameras. I'm not sure if that's still true, but it's possible, I guess. I don't know. Our onboarding's changed recently, so it might not be possible anymore. Keep those questions coming. We have been live for about 26 minutes. I would like to stay for another 10, 15 minutes. So keep the questions coming. If you have questions, differences, whatever it may be, I'm happy to discuss those today. If you want to talk about audio solutions, I'm ready. Graphics, I'm ready. Networks, that's my wheelhouse. I love networking. I don't want to say I love it, but that's my background. If you want to talk about recommendations on how you would like to see our support improved, if you want to talk about recommendations on how you would like to see our articles improved, let us know. We want to make sure that we're improving the onboarding process, our help center. We want to make sure our ticket process is best. If you have recommendations, you want to see us improve in certain areas, we want to hear it. And the live shows are the best way to talk to exactly those who get to make those decisions. So if you want to see things change, let us know. You want to see new features, let us know. Those features we're going to pass on. That's not exactly what we want, but I can guarantee you the person who can make those calls is watching the show already. So definitely make sure that you're providing all of the feedback, whether it's a new app, new product, new whatever it may be, let us know. Fernando says, how can we send the final edit for Multicam to, say, a Tricaster? So I don't know if Tricaster has an RTMP server built in. I know Livestream Studio does, but you could do that from Livestream Studio, broadcast that output via RTMP. I don't know if Tricaster allows it. If not, you wouldn't be able to technically, because Multicam doesn't have NDI out, doesn't have webcam out, doesn't have things like that. So your option is have an RTMP server and bring it in as a source. That's basically it. Lakers class of 2026 basketball. 5 years. 5 years. So let's see here. Like what? 8th or 9th grade? Okay. Anyways, I'm looking into getting a dedicated wireless router to take with me to baseball fields. We like to stream our baseball games. That threw me off because it says basketball and it's a baseball question. What is going to be the process to network through Mevo? Easy. Super easy. So I guess the question is, are you using Multicam or are you using like a laptop or a computer? Either way, super easy. If you're trying to use a computer, connect your laptop and all 3 Mevo to the same network and it'll populate. If you're trying to use Multicam, then all you need to do is follow the onboarding process. It's going to ask you, do you want to use a network? Do you want to use your phone's data? If you just want to use, if you want it, hold on, I need to read this question. Once I'm connected through my phone. Okay, so I guess it depends. Okay, so you want to use Multicam. Okay, great, thank you. So if you're using Multicam and you're trying to use your phone or iPad's data, all you need to do is connect all of your Mevo to one Mevo, or one device. Connect all of your Mevo and your mobile device to a single network, okay? That's all you need to do. And then the Multicam app will automatically use your phone's data already. So it's super simple, super straightforward. Okay, let's see here. Christian says, any plans for true EQ settings for internal mics besides the vocal and music audio enhancements? I think you're going to see that in the Multicam app probably before you see it in Mevo 2.0, simply because you have the mix. You're mixing multiple different audio sources significantly more than you would in the Mevo 2.0 app. So I think you might see true EQ settings in Multicam before you see Mevo 2.0. But there's no timetable. We've not discussed. We've discussed it, but there's no real. That's not prioritized in my head, as far as I'm aware. That's not a priority right now. But it's definitely a feature we would like to revisit in the future for sure. Micah says, what's the best and most simple way to stream a conference? I have the 3-pack Mevo Camera Pack. Cool. All right, Micah. So the simplest way to stream a conference. One, I can tell you one thing not to do. Do not use the conference center's network. Bring your own network solution. Bring your own internet service, whatever it may be. The most simple way to do it, bring your mobile device that's got a data plan. Make sure it's, I would even say there's going to be a few things. If you're running the conference and you have access directly to the conference network, great. If you're just at the conference as a visitor and you're not like an admin or a partner with that conference and you don't have direct network access, then you need to bring your own network source. Now, if you do have network access, you need to make sure it's not a guest network. You need to make sure there's not AP isolation, because what's going to happen is you're going to get there, connect all your devices, and they will not be able to communicate. So what you need to do is bring your own network. Just because they have a network available does not mean you're gonna be able to use it. Conference centers, Starbucks, McDonald's, hotels, things like that, they have AP isolation on. Those devices will not be able to communicate. So what I highly recommend is bring your own network, connect all of them to that single network, and use your cellular device. Now, if the conference is huge and the cellular signal is overloaded, you will run into some issues with your network dropping out with cellular devices. You gotta think about it. Depending on how big the conference is, you got thousands of people there, hundreds of thousands of people using the same service. That network tower or service tower is going to be overloaded, and it's going to affect your stream. Sunflower, are you planning on coming out with cameras that have an optical zoom? It's a great question. And if we are, then you would find out by following, and subscribing on all of our social channels. It's not something we've announced, but by following us on all of our social channels, you would be the first to find out as soon as we do announce something cool. Lakers class of 2026 basketball. Any plans for polarizing lenses or ND filters for the Mevo? I've not heard any discussions on this specifically for the Mevo Start or any of our other cameras. I think the big thing is it wasn't designed for that, so I don't see a way that would be mounted easily. And I think that's typically where the conversation stops. Similar to like the cold shoe mount ideas that people have, the Mevo wasn't designed to have these attachments. So there's really no way to securely fasten, attachments like that to the Mevo. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen people like tape things and stuff, and I mean, it looks cool. But as far as coming directly from us, I don't see that happening. You'll probably have to come up with a third-party solution. Tom Garman says, is there a way to stream to Facebook as a post and not as an event? Yeah, for sure. I need to be able to restrict live broadcast to supporters with hashtag supporters. I don't think I can do that as an event. I don't understand the hashtag part, Tom, but yes, you can absolutely stream to a Facebook profile, page, or group. It does not need to be an event. Actually, just to be more specific, Mevo doesn't support Facebook events. So I don't know. We don't support Facebook events. So you won't, going from the Mevo 2.0 app or Mevo Multicam app, you won't be able to go directly to a Facebook event. That's just, it's not an option. You can go to a profile, a page, or a group. You can't go to an event. You have to use RTMP to do that. And I don't think that's what you're trying to do. So if that doesn't answer your question, let me know and I'll try to provide more information, but Mevo doesn't support Facebook events. Micah, awesome, good to know. Personal hotspot on iPad works as a personal network source. Absolutely it does. As long as your iPad has a data plan, yes. What program is the best to stream for lower bandwidth? If you're using Multicam, then Multicam. I mean, yeah, if you're using multiple cameras, then use Multicam. Winston Smith, I like hardware switchers. Will Blackmagic? No, it won't. Those take hardware, the hardware switches, they require HDMI inputs. Doesn't work with Mevo. Mevo doesn't output via HDMI. Now I will say, and I'm going to say this very, very cautiously, there are third-party adapters out there that will convert UVC to or NDI to HDMI. Now, I'm saying cautiously because they're overpriced. They're as much as the camera almost. They're about $300, $350 per camera. It's just Mevo isn't built for hardware switches. Now, you know, down the road, who knows? I don't know what that may look like. You know, I personally brought up, why don't we do it? But that's just not a priority right now, and I don't have a time or date or anything like that on when that may or may not occur. But if you're trying to use a switcher, just use software. Don't use hardware. Just use, you know, Streamlabs OBS with like a Stream Deck or something. Livestream Studio with a Stream Deck or keys or whatever it may be. All of those things. There's many options out there. Hardware switchers are just not in the books for Mevos or Mevo Cameras. Wonderful. Picture this. Studio Waterloo says, will you have SRT support? That is not something that we've discussed. However, I'm seeing this trending significantly more within the last couple weeks. People wanting SRT. I don't know. Maybe down the road. Honestly, I don't know what platforms really use SRT. Who or what uses SRT? Let's take a look. So they've got subtitle information for start and time codes of text and sequential. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I don't think this will be coming. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more of it. I don't think this will be coming. Just because, I mean, I don't know. I don't have really a reason why. I just don't see. There's one. I've seen it trending in tickets. I've seen probably. I don't know. When I say trending, I say that very lightly because we've been very light on tickets. It hasn't been too crazy as of late. So if I do a quick search right now, I can say safely, since 2017, we've had a total of 11 tickets mentioning SRT. So it just doesn't seem like the support or requests are there. I say I've seen it trending. I don't know why I say that because I thought it was. Maybe somebody was asking about something else. But we've had 11 tickets or 11 requests for SRT since 2017. It doesn't seem to be a very popular request, so that's why I don't think it'd be prioritized. It's something we could revisit in the future for sure, especially if more users want it. But with 11 over the last 4 years, I'm gonna have to say probably not coming anytime soon. But I never say never. I always thought Mevo would never be used as a webcam, and I never thought it would have NDI support, and here we are. You know, obviously people have wanted those things since 2016, and it was a highly requested feature, so I get it. But you know, SRT is not nearly as highly requested. But you never know. Like I said, I won't rule out anything. You never know what could or couldn't happen in the future. Awesome. So where are we at now? So we're about 37 minutes. So I'm going to cover a few more things, just rehash over all of these cool things that I've discussed. No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about this. As I had mentioned, be sure to come check us out on Thursdays. We are live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mevo Live is on Thursday, which we will be doing an announcement this Thursday, specifically regarding the Mevo Live shows and the Mevo shows in general. So be sure to come tune in. And those are at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on youtube.com/Mevo Camera, at Mevo Camera on Facebook, and at Mevo Camera on Twitch. As mentioned earlier, we do have the Mevo Start 3-pack available with Mevo.com and at all of our partners, B&H, Best Buy, Adorama, Amazon. All of those places have them, and they are selling quick, so if you're thinking about getting one, grab one sooner rather than later. If you don't need a Mevo Start, or you don't need a Mevo product, go to Mevo.com/referral and sign up for the referral program, and you can get your hands on 5% commission for every referral that you do. And one more. Oh, I did this earlier too, and I made the mistake. Okay, cool, wonderful. Last question. Frank says, can this be used in a small studio switcher app? What about church services? Absolutely can be used in church services. It cannot be used with the switcher app. Mevo 2.0 or the Mevo Multicam app, it's its own switcher. You don't need a third-party switcher. But thanks for the question. So I'm going to wrap up today's show. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully I answered all of your questions. If not, go to help.mevo.com. We'd be more than happy to answer more questions there, or just come back on Thursday and ask us live. Don't forget, we are going to have a really cool announcement I think a lot of people would enjoy on Thursday. So be sure to tune in to that. Let's see here. I think we're good. As always, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Come check us out on Instagram and Twitter as well. You can get all of our links to our live shows there. Definitely don't miss any of the cool content that we bring to you on our live shows. And until Thursday, it'll be me and Joseph on Thursday. So come check us out, and we will see you all then. Thank you all.